All right, in this video, we're going to do a little bit of mobility, so stretching and yoga types of things that are really geared towards athletes and especially runners. So whenever you're ready, find a comfortable spot. We're going to start on all fours. So find your way to all fours. We're just going to do some little circles here. So just taking our hips in nice big circles. Go ahead and switch directions. And from there, what you go ahead and push back into child's pose. So let those hips sit back as far as they can. Walk your hands forward. And I want you to take a few breaths here. When you're ready, go ahead and walk your hands over to the left side. So trying to open up through the right side of the body. You might even be peeking under that right armpit a little bit. Okay, when you're ready, walk those hands over to the right side. Again, now we might be peeking a little bit through that left armpit. A couple deep breaths here. Okay, when you're ready, walk back through center and go ahead and put your elbows on the ground, hands together, hands come back behind your head. A couple of deep breaths here. All right, when you're ready, come on up. We're going to do a little hip flexor stretch. So I'm just going to have you go ahead and kind of find your way into that hip flexor stretch. So right leg forward, and then try and tuck that hip up and under as much as you can. And then just start to shift forward a little bit. We're trying to get a stretch down the front. Find that stretch and then try to relax into it. Take a few deep breaths. All right, when you're ready, walk that foot out to about 45 degrees and then start to shift your hips in that direction. So we're shifting towards that front knee. And we're trying to sit kind of down and forward, so getting the stretch a little bit more through the groin. Again, a few deep breaths here. All right, walk that foot back in, and let's just go ahead and switch sides, so switch legs. Tuck that right hip up and under, and then start to shift forward a little bit. A few deep breaths here. And when you're ready, walk that foot out to about 45 degrees, and we're going to shift our hips forward and down. Couple more deep breaths. All right, when you're ready, walk that foot back to center, and then we're going to find our way into downward dog. So come to all fours, tuck your toes, and then we're going to push our hips up and back, trying to really sit those hips back. A bend in your knees is great, but we're going to just shift that weight from side to side, getting a little calf stretch here. Okay, when you're ready, I want you to come up high on your toes, press your chest back, and then drop your heels low. Come up high on your toes again, press your chest back, and then drop your heels low. One more time, up high on your toes, press your chest back, drop your heels low. And then from here, however you want to bring that right leg forward, I'm going to take my leg up behind me and then come through into a high lunge. So I'm going to stand myself up here, hands are on my right leg, and I'm just trying to get a stretch down that back leg there. So kind of shifting forward and down, doing my best to try to straighten out that back leg if I can. You might need to come up higher, you might need to have a little bend. But the deeper we are and the straighter that leg, we're going to get a little more of a stretch. So let's take a few deep breaths here. And when you're ready, I want you to just lower that knee down to the ground and make sure our hips are in line here. And we're going to shift back into a hamstring stretch. For me, I have to keep a little bend in that knee to make sure that it's not too intense. So pull that shin towards your, pull those toes towards your shin. And then as you go forward, you're going to push that foot to the ground and kind of start to straighten out that leg. This should give you a little stretch down the front of your shin. And I just want you to shift back and forth there. So we're going from that shin stretch where leg is straight, toes to the ground, back into that hamstring stretch, shifting back and forth. For a lot of us, I would probably do better with being up a little bit higher. So if you have a yoga block or a physio ball, you can kind of come up a little bit higher, so I can be here and then there. Here. So shift back and forth a few times on your own timing. I want you to pause when that foot comes to the ground, so my foot is all the way on the ground. I'm trying to straighten out that knee the best that I can. Get a nice stretch down the front of the shin and top of the foot. All right, then I want you to go ahead and shift yourself forward. So we're in that low lunge. I want you to shift yourself forward. Be gentle here. You might want to keep that hip tucked under a little bit, but just find a good hip flexor stretch for you. If you want that foot out to the side a little bit and go a little bit lateral, that's fine too. So a few deep breaths here. Okay, when you're ready, we're gonna tuck that toe, come on up, and then just step it forward. And now I'm gonna have feet about an inch or so apart, nice deep bend into my knees. I'm gonna kind of hang my arms down. My arms might come to my shins or to my feet. And then I'm gonna straighten out my left leg while keeping my right leg bent. Then bend my left knee, straighten out my right. So I'm shifting back and forth, right to left, keeping one leg straight and keeping one leg bent and straightening out the other. We should feel this up into our hip, hamstring, maybe low back. Make sure not to hold this for very long. We just want to go in and out. Okay, when you're ready, kind of walk yourself up to standing nice and gentle. And then let's go long ways on our mat. I want you to get your feet as wide as you can. See if you can point your toes in a little bit. And then we're going to go into a forward fold. So hands might come to the ground, hands might come to shins or to thighs. We want to do the best we can to keep our back flat and long. So a couple of deep breaths here. Okay, when you're ready, with those toes pointed in, I want you to walk your hands over to the right side. Hands are going to come to thigh or to shin or to foot. And with that toe pointed in, you might get a little stretch on that lateral part of your foot and ankle. Let's take a few deep breaths here, nice and relaxed. Okay, go ahead and walk back through center and over to the left side. Again, keeping those toes pointed in so that you get a little stretch on the outer part of your lower leg and ankle. And when you're ready, walk back through center and kind of bring your feet into center, come on up to standing. Let's find our way into that downward dog again. So speak your way to the ground. Let's pedal it out a little bit in downward dog. So left to right. And now we're going to bring that left leg through. So left leg up and through into our standing lunge. So up nice and tall. Hands come to that left leg if you can. Try and straighten out that back leg, and then we're sitting into that stretch, trying to keep our chest up nice and tall. And when you're ready, go ahead and bring that right knee to the ground, and we're going to do our hamstring and shin stretch. So we're shifting back into that hamstring stretch, and then straighten that leg and push toes to the ground to stretch down the front here. On your own timing, just shifting back and forth. And some of you might be able to get into this hamstring stretch a lot deeper than I can. Let's pause with that foot on the ground. Get a nice stretch there down the front of the shin and the foot. And then when you're ready, come all the way up. Let's get one more hip flexor stretch. So we're going to start to shift forward. So I should be feeling this, the front of my right hip. Couple more deep breaths here. All right, let's go ahead and bring that foot back behind us. And we're going to go into a pigeon stretch here. This one can be kind of intense, so if this is too much for you, you can roll to your back and do a little figure 4 stretch or some other stretch that feels better to you. So hips up and back. Let's bring that right leg through again. This time shin comes through, and we're going to go down into that pigeon. So make sure that you're keeping your ankle dorsiflex to help protect your knee, and trying to keep hips and chest facing forward. You might stay up high like this, Or you might want to come all the way down so you can relax here in this position. You also might want to try walking your hands to the right or walking your hands and chest to the left and finding the best stretch for you. I'm going to give you about a minute or so in this position, so find that spot, feel free to move around, take some deep breaths. Okay, before we finish up, I'm going to have you kind of walk your hands to that right side a little bit, and we're going to do some just little up and down, little presses to try and get a little deeper into that lateral part of the right hip. Okay, when you feel ready, we're going to switch sides. So be gentle as you come out of this. You might have to kind of lift that weight off using your strength. Switch side, pedal it out a little bit, and then let's bring that left shin through. Same thing. So left shin comes through. Find your comfortable position there, making sure to keep that left foot in dorsiflexion, and maybe starting up high, taking a few breaths here, and then gently easing your way to wherever it is that you need to be. And this side might be different than the other side. So again, I'll give you a minute or so here. So deep breaths, find the spot that feels best to you. And when you're ready to come up halfway, let's walk our hands to the left a little bit, and we'll just do some little presses. Try and lead with your chest as you go down towards that left leg. Okay, from there we're going to find our way to our back. So again, ease your way out of this, and then find your way onto your back. And we'll start by flipping our knees into our chest. So onto your back, go ahead and just hug those knees in nice and tight. Go ahead and close your eyes, and let's just rock left to right a little bit, trying to loosen up that lower back. And then maybe even kind of taking legs in some little circles. Switch directions if you haven't. From there, go ahead and keep your right knee hugging in. Hug it in nice and tight, and extend that left leg to the ground. Try and think about pulling that right knee in towards your chest and trying to reach that left leg long. Let's take a few deep breaths here. I want you to put your left hand on the outside of that right knee and kind of pull it across your body a little bit. Back is staying on the ground. We're just trying to get that outer hip here. So this should be gentle. A couple of deep breaths there. Okay, from there, I want you to grab the back of your hamstring here, and we're going to just go in and out of a hamstring stretch. So we're just going to straighten and bend that knee. You can play with what direction you kind of send your foot and ankle. This might feel intense, especially if you're getting some of that tension that's coming all the way up. So we're just going to be gently going in and out. Do a few more on this side. And when you're ready, hug both of those knees into your chest. Keep that left knee hugging in. Send the right foot straight out in front of you. So hug that left knee in nice and tight. Let's take a few deep breaths here. Okay, when you're ready, right hand goes to the outside of your left knee. Pull that knee up and across, just nice and gentle. A few deep breaths there. Okay, when you're ready, hands come to the back of your hamstring, and we'll go in and out of that hamstring stretch. Again, you play with a little bit where you send those toes and your foot, and we're going to just be gentle going in and out. All right, when you're ready, hug those knees into your chest. Send feet to the ground. Right ankle is going to go on top of the left knee. We're going to do our figure four. So thread your hands right through to the back of your left hamstring. And I'm going to use my right elbow to push my right knee away and use my hands to pull my left leg towards me. Try to relax here, find a gentle stretch, and let's just take a few deep breaths. Okay, let that left foot come to the ground, and let's switch sides. So right foot on the ground, left ankle on top of right knee. Thread those hands through, grab the back of your right hamstring. Let's pull that right knee in towards our chest and use our left elbow to push that left knee away. A few deep breaths here. Okay, let's let that right foot come to the ground. And what I want you to do is I want you to put both feet on the ground, let those knees go over to the right side, and let that left knee come down as far as you can. And then right ankle goes on top of left knee to try to pull that knee towards the ground a little bit. Our goal here is to get a stretch in the left TFL, or kind of anterior part of the hip. So play with where that knee is. So I'm moving my left knee so it's a little bit more straight down. And I want you to just find a spot where you can get that stretch in the TFL, kind of the front of that left hip, and then just relax. Take a few deep breaths here. Okay, when you're ready, you can go ahead and switch sides. So gently come out of that. Both feet come to the ground again, and knees will go over to the left. Keep that right knee kind of towards the ground. Left ankle comes on top of the right knee to try to help pull that knee towards the ground. We're looking for a stretch on the front of that right hip. Again, find where you get that best stretch and then take some deep breaths, try and relax into it. And when you're ready, gently come out of that, and you can go ahead and hug your knees into your chest again. Give them a nice squeeze, and then reach your legs out long. And we're just going to end in our Shavasana. Take a few deep breaths, and you can stay here as long as you want. If you want to stay here for 10 minutes, you can. If you want to just take a couple of deep breaths, you can go ahead and do that. All right, good work, and that was our mobility sequence. So hopefully you're feeling good and hips are nice and loose.